Good evening. On the world news tonight, first the headlines. My focus is on better life for all Nigerians. First Lady. I will ensure well assured and resourced fit for purpose Nigerian military. Tinubu. Atiku Obi beg appeal court to release copies of judgments as clock runs down. Do something. Nigerians are suffering. Khan tells Tinubu. And on sports, I want to show my worth to fans. Super Eagles invitee. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. The news in detail. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on Friday in Abuja said that our focus through our national project, the Renewed Hope Initiative, is to make life better for all Nigerians. The First Lady said this during a courtesy visit by the Honorable Minister's Wives Forum led by its convener, Mrs. Susan Lokobiri, wife of Minister of State for Petroleum Resources. The First Lady further intimated the forum with a rundown of aims and objectives of the initiative, a brief of all activities it has carried out so far, and planned programs for the future. She mentioned few of these to include indigent student scholarships, a visit to Nanbari Orphanage, computer training, a proposed partnership with the United Nations, AUDA, NEPAD, UNICEF, and capacity building training for wives of top government functionaries. In this Tinubu's administration, we are all into it and are full, and I expect you all to be available to assist in all the works we have to do for this country. The mission of RHI is better life for all families. There is no family that will not say they don't need a better life. A lot of people have been saying different things about the way the fuel subsidy removal affects them, but we know those people who their shoes actually pinches. These are the people we want to reach out to and see how we can help families. This is the reason why the RHI is focusing on agriculture, education, health, economic, empowerment, and social investment. Where we build lives, we are actually building a nation, because if every life is happy, they will be able to contribute meaningfully to the development of the nation, and Nigeria has great prospects. According to Mrs. Tinubu, the organization is partnering with other organizations to sponsor people in schools. Another one that will interest you, which everybody can participate in, is for agricultural program in the organization. We are planning that everyone should have a garden to grow food. Since President Bola Tinubu has declared a state of emergency on food security, therefore, we are encouraging people to start planting in gardens, and we are only going to pick one garden as the winner. Therefore, your garden should be able to produce food for you and your neighbor. The best garden will go on with prize money, 20 million naira for the winner, she said. Earlier, the Kobiri hinted that the forum had come to congratulate the First Lady on the recent victory at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, which she described as a well-deserved victory. She commended the First Lady for supporting her husband in his quest to engage capable ends to constitute the present Federal Executive Council, FEC, for which their respective husbands are direct beneficiaries. She pleaded with the First Lady to embrace the forum as her own on all ramifications. We are here to pledge our loyalty to you and to identify with the organization RHI. We wish to emphasize that your cool, calm, and noiseless disposition in handling state matters has greatly endeared you to us in this forum. Going on to the next story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to do everything within his constitutional powers to ensure that the Nigerian military is well-resourced and fit for purpose to discharge its constitutional duties of protecting the nation. Tinubu, represented by Minister of Defense Alhaji Mohammed Badaru, made the promise during the graduation of participants of the National Defense College NDC, Course 31, on Friday in Abuja. He said the Armed Forces of Nigeria represent one of the finest institutions that the nation could be proud of, assuring that the government would continue to appreciate the sacrifice and patriotism of the gallant men and women of the military. The President congratulated the commandants and college management team for working hard to grow and empower such crop of strategic leaders for the armed forces, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, as well as all allied countries represented in the cause. He said the college had continued to produce military and civilian leaders who are intellectually sound, courageous, patriotic, and of high integrity. He added that the college's unique style of consolidated knowledge through a broad thematic areas had helped in finding sustainable solutions to national security and development problems not just in Nigeria but in Africa and beyond. He expressed confidence that the graduate of Course 31 would bring the knowledge, expertise, and skills acquired during the course to here in finding solutions to current and emerging security and developmental challenges in the country. Our dear country is faced with a flurry of challenges, including insecurity, social economic hiccups, climate change, and migratory issues, the so-called Judgement syndrome. We are confronted by systematic corruption, crude oil theft, reduced national productivity, weak infrastructure, weak revenue base, rising domestic and external debt, among others. Those challenges demand creative and purposeful driving leadership to mitigate. Since coming into office, I have rolled up my sleeves myself to confront and address them frontally, and we shall overcome with special grace of God. The President said he had taken some essential policies, steps such as removal of oil subsidy and liberalization of foreign exchange rates, among others, to reposition the Nigerian economy for prosperity and inclusive growth. He added that he urged the leadership of the armed forces and police, among others, to usher in fresh perspective to dealing with the security challenges, urging the participants to go back to their respective services and agencies and align with the visions of the new leadership. Tinubu said the world was currently faced with the myriad of threats, such as destructive effects of emerging technologies, cyber threats, unconstitutional change of government in Africa's sub-region. The legal team of Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the February 25th presidential election, has written the Court of Appeal, expressing worries that they are yet to receive the certified true copies of the ruling delivered by the Presidential Election Petitions Panel on Wednesday. In a letter signed by the head of the legal team, Chris Uche, a senior lawyer, on Friday, the team stated that the tribunal did not fulfill its promise of making available the copies of the judgment by September 7 and is worried, due to time constraints, that the delay will affect their ability to file an action before the Supreme Court to appeal the judgment. We add by our letter 7th of September 2023, requested for the copies of the judgment delivered by the court on 6th September 2023, which the court had promised in open court will be given to us on the next day, being September 7, 2023. Our clients are worried that up to date we have not received copies of the judgment, which were read as ready and televised globally on 6 September 2023. As we indicated, given the severely limited time to file our appeal, our request is one of extreme urgency, as any day that goes by depletes our time and affects our constitutional right of appeal, as the time to appeal is not extendable. We have already lost 2 days out of the only 14 days available to us, the letter read. Labour Party and its presidential candidate have also made similar appeals to the court, seeking immediate release of the documents. Given the volume of work that must be done within the short period, they have to file Supreme Court briefs. 3 days now appear to have been lost in the delays. The PEPC declared on Wednesday that the petitions submitted in dispute of the result of the election did not prove enough evidence to support such beliefs, which, amongst other things, included a disqualification of the announced winner, Bola Tinubu, and running mate Kashim Shettima. The parties have 14 days from the day of the ruling to appeal the verdict of the tribunal before the Supreme Court. The Christian Association of Nigeria in the 19 northern states and FCT on Friday lamented the harsh economic situations in the country following the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on May 29, 2023. The organization declared that Nigerians are suffering due to the action subsidy, noting that life in the country today is becoming a living hell as prices of food, transportation, and other essential commodities have gone up beyond the reach of the poor masses. Specifically, the Northern Can called on President Bola Tinubu and governors of the 36 states of the Federation to live up to expectations of Nigerians by ensuring that economic and social problems bedeviling the country were addressed. In his inaugural address on May 29, 2023, President Tinubu declared an end to the era of subsidy payment, stating that the 2023 budget did not provide for fuel subsidy, making further payments unjustifiable. However, the development can said has left Nigerians hungry as poverty has taken over the entire country, and called on the president and governors to do something to ameliorate the sufferings of the masses. These were contained in a communique signed by the Northern Kans Public Relations Officer, Chaplain Gilbert Jekonia, and released to journalists in Kaduna today. The communique also called on Nigerians not to relent in their prayers for the unity and stability of the country, regardless of the mass poverty and hunger in the land. The 11-point communique at the end of the 3-day quarterly meeting, presided over by the chairman of the association, Reverend Yakub Pam, partly read that the president and governors must run all-inclusive government and ensure the development projects are distributed fairly to give every section of the country a state or sense of belonging. The meeting called on President Bola Tinubu to do everything humanly possible to address the issue of food crisis in the land. The meeting also commended the government for taking steps to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy by way of providing palliative. However, it is our considered opinion that the provision of such palliatives is not a lasting solution to the hardship faced by the masses. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has arrested at least 6 suspects who masquerade as genuine drivers to commit heinous crimes in the nation's capital. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Arunaji Garba, made this known while parading several suspects at the command's headquarters on Thursday. According to the CP, 6 vehicles belonging to the suspects have also been impounded. The commissioner explained that the suspects were using vehicles bearing both foreign and local plate numbers, or foreign plate numbers at the back and Nigeria plate number in front, to defraud unsuspecting citizens with their Nigerian number plates. He noted that the modus operandi of the drivers was that they use the vehicle to convey unsuspecting passengers and midway to their destination, they disposes them of their handsets and other valuables. The moment they carry out this criminal act, and to avoid being traced or linked to the crime, they quickly remove the Nigeria plate number. The suspect will be charged to court at the conclusion of investigation. No fewer than 13 other suspected criminals were also paraded for committing different crimes across the country. A former pastor at the Redeemed Prince Afolabi Gandhi Laudi on Friday was installed as the new Shehu of Ogbomoso land in Oyo State. Information are reported that Laudi, who was based in the United States of America, arrived in Ogbomoso early in the morning in a private chopper, which landed at the Ogbomoso Grammar School before moving to the palace. It will be also recalled that the Shehu of Ogbomoso still became vacant after Oba Jimoh Oyewumi transited to the great beyond on December 12, 2021. However, some members of the family opposed the approval, thereby heading to the courts, arguing that it was not part of the process right from the beginning and that it shouldn't be crowned against their wish. The family members instituted the suits marked HOG/27/2022 in July 2022 against the nomination of Gandhi Laudi by the kingmakers, citing various irregularities in the procedures that produced him, thereby praying the court to, among other reliefs, set aside the nomination and to order a fresh process. The judge, A.K. Adedokun, fixed the judgment day after Olaoye's counsel, Oladapo Atonda and Kolawole Fatoye, who represented Gandhi and the kingmakers, adopted their processes and presented their argument for and against the suit. The defendant in the case include the Oyo State Governor, Oyo State Attorney General, Oyo State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, Ogbomoso North Local Government, Ogbomoso North Traditional Council, and Prince Amos Olawole Olaoye, Mogaji Olaoye ruling house, who are 4th to 6th defendants respectively. The 7th to 11th defendant are the kingmakers Chief S.O. Otolori Ariago of Ogbomoso and Chairman, Chief Salau Ajadi Jagun, Chief Tijani Abioye Bara, Chief David Adeniro Ojo Ikolaba, and Chief Yusuf Oladipupo Abese, while Prince Gandhi Laoye, the Shehu nominee, is the 12th defendant. The plaintiff, while claiming that the regulations guiding the nomination to fill the vacant stool of Shehu Chieftaincy Ogbomoso, which include the Shehu Chieftaincy Declaration 1958, Ogbomoso District Native Authority Resolution 1953, and Oyo State Chiefs Laws 2000 were grossly violated, sought relief that the procedure for Gandhi's nomination was inconclusive, in that a minority committee performed the task instead of the whole members of the family. A declaration that the procedure adopted for the nomination of candidates to fill the vacant stool of Shongu of Ogbomoso chieftaincy by the members of Laoyere ruling out through the purported 11-member screening committee was inconclusive. Watching the world news from BGI Television. A socio-cultural group under the aegis of the Northern Action Groups has rejected the call by some individuals demanding the sack of the Group Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian National Petroleum Company NNPCL, Mele Kyari. The group attributed the increases in daily crude oil production to the efforts of the NNPCL Limited in combating oil thefts and attacks on pipelines by some criminal elements. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the spokesman for the group, Abdul Hamid Enaji, noted that the NNPCL has put strategic measures in place to ensure that the environment is safeguarded and preserved. The group said as a result, the levels of pollution have drastically reduced, which has made the environment safer for Nigerians. Moving on to the foreign story. Ceremonial gunfire ranged out across the UK on Friday today to mark the accession of King Charles III as he paid tribute to his Queen Mother Elizabeth II on the first year anniversary of her death. The King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery fired a 41-gun accession salute in London's Hyde Park, followed by a 62-gun salute from the Tower of London. Guns were also fired from Edinburgh Castle in the Scottish capital, Cardiff Castle in Wales, and Hillsborough Castle in Northern Ireland. Commemorations of the Queen's death were low-key on Friday, with the King, who is at his sprawling Scottish island estate of Balmoral, not expected at any official engagement. In a short statement, the 74-year-old British head of state recalled the great affection for his mother, her life and public service. I am deeply grateful too for the love and support that has been shown to my wife and myself during this year, as we do our best and utmost best to be of service to you all. He and his wife Camilla attended Critic Kirk, the late monarch's place of worship near Balmoral, for private prayers and a moment of reflection. Charles, dressed in a red tack-end kilt, talked to well-wishers outside the church after the event. I saw the funeral procession go past last year. It's a sad day for everyone. Rose Nicole, a 22-year-old student from nearby Balata, told AFP. She did a lot of good things and she are standing in the world. Other German tourist Nicole Hope will feel a little bit and sentimental for her. The Queen, who was on the throne for a record-breaking 70 years, died on September 8, 2022 at Balmoral, age 96, after a period of declining health. Flowers were left at the gate of Balmoral, while crowds gathered at the Buckingham Palace, and floral attributes were also felt. And to end the world news this hour is a sports story. Jordan Torunariga is the son of former Nigerian international Ojokojo Torunariga, and he has also a brother named Junior Torunariga, who is also a footballer. Newly invited Super Eagles defender Jordan Torunariga has revealed that he is ready to prove his worth if given the chance to play against Sao Tome and Principe in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Uyo this Sunday. The 26-year-old has now been called up for the first time alongside his Belgian club Ghent teammate Gift Orban in head coach Josep Pesero's squad for the West African country final 2023 African qualifier fixture against Sao Tome and Principe on Sunday, with the country's ticket to the continental showpiece in Ivory Coast next year already assured after a hard 4-3-2 win over Sierra Leone in the last match. The 63-year-old Pesero will be aiming to use the game as an opportunity of the new invitees to prove their worth in the team, and also to start bringing together his squad to represent Nigeria in the Africa Cup of Nations. However, Torunariga has revealed that his first ambition is to show his worth to France by helping the Super Eagles claim victory on Sunday. The 26-year-old was among the 23 players who opened camp on Tuesday for the Dead Rubber clash against the Falcons and Pirates, which is set to take place at Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. He also revealed that the team vice-captain William Street-Ekong and Cardiff City defender Jamilu Khalid have been helping him to settle into the team, while expressing his excitement to train alongside Serie A stars like Victor Osimhen, AC Milan new boy Samuel Chukwueze. The Super Eagles will be aiming to command another big win over the 186th FIFA-ranked Central African country after the first leg finished 10-0 victory for Pesero's side in Agadir, Morocco over a year ago. Well, the sports story will come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. My focus is on better life for all Nigerians. Oluremi Tinubu. I will ensure well-resourced, fit-for-purpose Nigerian military, the president. Atiku Obi beg appeal court to release copies of judgments as clock runs down. Do something, Nigerians are suffering. Khan tells Tinubu governors. And on sports, I want to show my worth to France. Super Eagles invitee Torunariga. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Before you can make it in life and looking so awkward before you God, be humble. I am Maurire Rebila Lawa. Good evening.